and welcome to the Non-Ec Nonsense podcast, a show where the hosts are just as psychotic as college unifieds. I am Kat Gold.
I am Michael Matterdomini, episode 8. Nice of you to join us.
Today, we have a very special guest. As soon as I said online that I was going to be doing a podcast, immediately she was in my DMs like, so when am I coming on? Um, Obviously, she is my ride or die. She is one of my professors from college, even though we only got to share 1 year together. Boy, oh boy, are we stuck together for a lifetime? I'm so excited to say we have Sara Schoch on the podcast today.
Hi, sweetheart. How are you?
I am fantastic now that you're here. I am so thrilled.
Well,
Kiss ass. Kiss ass.
Fuck you,
yeah,
Michael.
you know what? She's like my child. I don't have any of those. So,
Hey, you take what you can get.
Yeah, no.
No kids. You got a bunch of nieces and nephews.
They like that's how okay, so Kat knows me as Auntie Sarah. Because they started calling me mom when I very first got there to the University of West Florida. And I was like, absolutely not. I am no one's mother. I will never be anybody's mother. That is enter only situation. Nobody will be exiting. And so so I was like, no, Auntie Sarah is better. And I have nieces and nephews. So like, so Auntie Rara, Auntie Sarah is all one thing. So yeah.
You really did. You swooped in and like, even though you don't want the word mother, you did swoop in and save all of us from ourselves. You really did.
A little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, a little bit. They really had, I think the second class I had with them, I said, what is so wrong with you guys?
Trauma,
because they had some like weirdo stuff and some people telling them stuff like, people who are going to listen to this podcast are going to be like, that's the meanest teacher I've ever had talking. Okay. Some people, but some people are just going to be like, that's a real one. And I just came in there and was like real with them. And I want to say that there had been some things thrown at them before that really were like
mentally and physically.
Yeah, hurtful.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Like, you know what I mean? And so like they were so down on themselves, these 10 beautiful people, you know what I mean? And yeah, at one point I was just like, what is so wrong with you guys? Like, what do I not know about you? You know what I mean?
I will never forget that day. It was during our senior showcase class, whatever. And you were like, what the fuck is happening? And you kind of like talked us off a ledge, and then you went around to each of us and you brushed the cosmic dust off of our shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Like it just like it kind of reset us as a group. And it, even if we don't see each other all the time, we're all like super connected. And I think we only got there during senior year. Like we were all friends and stuff, but it the program was very different before you got there. I like to call it the Hunger Games.
Yikes.
Well, it started off because like the program used to not do auditions. They used to you would audition your entire freshman year. So there was like 30 of us competing for 10 slots, and then we were told, oh, there's only going to be 9 because a transfer is getting it. So it's only 9 slots and 30 something people. And they were like, by the end of the year, there'll probably be 15 of you left. And then of those 15, we'll choose 9. And that's basically what happened.
Wow.
That's basically what happened. Some people stayed, like Tammy. Tammy was originally an aspiring BFA, and she switched to stage management, but most of the people just like dipped, went to different schools and stuff. It was something.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I really don't. I mean, obviously there's turnover,
Yeah.
there are people who come and go and find what's best for them. And ultimately, that's like all I ever want is for you all to have the very best life that you can have, whether you do theater or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me. The skills that you acquire when you get a BFA, they'll take you anywhere you want to go. I mean, we can do anything from present to talk on the phone to whatever. So clothes and do alterations. We have all these skills when you have a BFA. So I I really, you guys needed empowerment. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You really needed empowerment and you needed somebody to be tough on you at the same time. And I was tough.
I
Um,
for me, I never got the toughness.
that's
I got it from some people. Like I could tell that like but they needed the swift kick in the ass.
well, and now one of those people, sorry, Topher Warren is
Yeah.
like, now he has literally I was doing a show with him a couple months ago, and he like literally went to head with this guy, old man, who was like just toxic as hell. And Topher like got in his face. I didn't even have to fight for myself. Topher got in his face and was like, "You are not going to treat this lady like this." And I got to tell you, one time I was so mad at Topher that I was like shaking. Like I couldn't even
Yeah.
speak, you know what I mean? But that bond, because I cared and loved him so much, and all of you, and you guys, you made me. Do you know what I
We
mean?
were
Like,
so fucked up. We prepared you for all the
no,
students
well,
to come.
no, that's what I even mean. Like, if you guys hadn't like got on the train, if you guys and the freshmen, those first freshmen that I
Mhm.
had, hadn't like bought into my like nonsense and played my reindeer games, like I'm telling you, Michael, there would have been no program. But they jumped in and were like, whoa, this is different. Also, I was young, I was like 33 years old when I started at UWF. And I thought they were crazy. I was like, these people are either geniuses or complete idiots putting a early 30-year-old person in charge of this program. But turned out okay. I'm still there hanging on by my fingernails, it feels like sometimes.
Not by the fingernails. I mean, so I think we should just jump straight into this, Kat. So back in, I graduated high school back in 2017. I went to Dreyfus School of the Arts.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm. And
Talia. You know
yes,
Talia? No,
Suskauer.
Talia. Yes, my
Mm-hmm.
baby girl, Talia.
I was
Yes,
in Legally
she
Blonde with
was.
her.
Oh, she played Vivian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Talia. If those of you are listening do not know, she's like the best alphaba.
I will
We'll
attest
just
She's
to
go
that.
ahead
Broadway.
and say it.
She's
She
Broadway.
is Broadway. She was an intern at the New London Barn Playhouse where I used to be a resident actress, and she was an intern one summer, and we did The Sound of Music together, where I played the Mother Abbess, and we did The Mystery of Edwin Drood right before I came to UWF. Like I was late
Oh my
to
God.
classes because I was cast in this show, and Talia was Rosebud. Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No, I
No.
love that because that's my first memory of you. I remember the first class we had with you. You were like, "Who played Princess Puffer?" And I was just like, "Me." And you were like, "You." And like
respect.
you, yeah.
Respect.
I said respect, because what most people don't know about the mystery of Edwin Drood, and I promise, Michael, we're gonna get back to
No. Take
how
your
you
time.
and me know each other. Okay. Apparently. If you don't know this, Angela Prysock / Princess Puffer, she has the most endings to memorize, because if you don't know Edwin Drood, the audience votes and picks the lovers, they pick the murderer, and then they pick the what is the name of that person? I can't remember. The Dick Datchery. That's right. And the only person that Puffer can't play is the Dick Datchery. But
yeah, because she has to memorize all the alternate lyrics for that song to announce who it is.
That's right.
So you have to know who it is and then remember which lyrics it was.
Yes. And then you have 13 possible endings depending on if you're the lover or the murderer.
Yeah.
That sounds like my personal hellhole. That's what that sounds
like.
It
is my personal hellhole. It was my personal hellhole. It was my personal hell. Like, my husband was actually there living with us because we were about to move to Pensacola, and like we would do nothing but rehearse these endings. And by the last one, it was one that we'd never done before. Of course, the final one. Yeah. And I grabbed the fake script from the fake stage manager, and I was just like, just give me this. And I just read it because I was like, I'm not even going to try this.
I had my dresser. I had one dresser, and I like literally would grab her every time as soon as the voting would happen. And because immediately you have to you do the voting and then you turn around and you have to sing 3 songs into Dick Datchery, try to memorize it. And as soon as I would walk up, I would walk to her. She would have the script ready and we would run all the endings.
Yes, that's almost exactly what we did as well. And she sometimes would have to remind me what I was supposed to say and what I was supposed to do. Yeah, totally. Same thing. And just honestly, I think I said to you, I would rehearse that part every day of my life just so I would never have to memorize it again.
Yeah.
Like, that's how bad it is. Okay. So anyway, respect. That is how Kat and I first fell in love. I'll say respect.
That's the title of the podcast right there, Kat. It's Respect with Auntie Sara.
Respect. Yeah, respect. So anyway, so 2017.
Yes, graduated.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I my final 2 schools was UWF and New World School of the Arts. It was between you two. And I did my New World one first, and I got done with that audition. And I went to UWF, and I did the dance call. Dance call went swimmingly. And then I get into the room where I'm going to do my monologue and my song. And I get in there, and the space is gorgeous, and I'm talking to you guys, and I'm having lovely conversation. And then I forget how to sing. Not, I don't, I'm just, my heart is pounding out of my chest because I want these 2 schools. Like, these 2 schools were it for me, right? So I get in there and I sing, and it comes out it's fine. But I just remember glancing over at you, and you put up your hand and you went, "Breathe, honey, breathe." And I was like, okay. And she goes, "Do you want to try that again?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love to try that again. Are you kidding me?" Right. So I did that. And then after, you were like, "Okay, great. Thank you for breathing." And I was like, God damn it. I was like, shit. And it was very, very nice. You were like, we need boys, and you're very talented, blah, 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 this and that. And then I wish I could go back in time 6 years.
Aww.
Because I would have had my BFA by now. I would have been set and done.
You would.
But I still am working.
He's working.
Oh, good. I'm good. Yeah. I'm glad. Good.
He's working up a storm. This boy. How many contracts do you have this year?
5.
So you
contracts.
obviously didn't make a bad choice, you know what I mean? It's
It
just
took a while.
we all have different paths, honey.
Hmm.
And what I'm most and this is like exactly it. What I'm most happy about is that like despite feeling that way, like you're still out there doing the thing.
Yeah.
And that Cat was, no one can see this, but Cat is nodding. Doing the thing is like one of my phrases. Get out there and
Hmm.
do the thing. And that's all that matters. And like, yes, I will always be that person in the audition room that is like, wait. Because we even had this year at Unifieds at FTC, Florida Theater Conference. A girl slated, took a breath, and then just slated again. And I was like, no. Come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. I do not care if there is a timer in the room. I do not care. I do not care. No 17-year-old person's life should be decided in 90 seconds.
Hmm.
Damn straight.
Yep.
Do you
That's
know what I mean?
I
It's
completely
like
agree. And I
it.
felt at home there. And that was the thing. I literally sat down with my parents and I had a pros and cons list for both schools because I was
Mhm.
like this. I was going to wear it today for you. I had an
Oh.
Argos shirt. Right? I bought the shirt,
Oh.
I bought the hat.
Oh.
I was like ready to go. And it was just a last minute decision, but it was
Yeah.
so welcoming. And anytime anyone, because I teach, like I have students that I go ahead and I talk
Oh.
to. And when they're asking about college auditions, I'm like, listen to this little school up in a panhandle. And I sit down with them and
Oh
I
my
talk about the
God.
school because I had such a I remember everything about that day. It was a great experience there. So thank you, even though I only met you once, for making an impression on me 6 years later. I still remember it to
Oh
this day.
my God. Thank you so much. That means so much to me because like I am tough on my students, but it is only because it comes from a place of absolute love and care because I did not have the kind of guidance I needed. Like I had the training, I had the talent, I had all of that, but like no one taught me how to be in the business and no one treated me like a human. Like I was just this object and this profit for other people all the time, you know? And one of the reasons I came back and well, one of the reasons I went back to get my master's was that I knew deep down that teaching was for me. And I had been doing quite a bit of it, master classes at universities and things like that, even when I was acting full time and stuff like that. But one of the reasons I chose academia was because like it was so hard for me. And if I could make it easier for one person, like Kat,
Mhm.
um, like than it was for me, then I have fulfilled my duty, you know? And man, it's been what, almost 9 years since we met, Kat, and we're still having this relationship. I have a 20-year relationship with my mentors.
Mhm.
And I mean, we're still making art together today
That's so cool.
at a theater company in upstate New York. You know what I mean? And like we're doing Shakespeare and like we do it like so fast and quick and dirty and it's so fun. And it's just the relationships that can be built if you are open to that and open to your professors and understanding that there's a difference between criticism and critique. And my job is to critique you, not criticize you, but I'm going to get on your ass.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like I'm going to,
Right.
because first of all, in this profession, it's the only profession in the world where the people who train you are actually on your resume. So when somebody sees my name on Kat's resume, they're like, oh, it's like when she goes to New Hampshire, people know because I work there so much. You know what I mean? She goes to Boston, people know, you know. So that's when I start to like be like, you got to tighten up because like if you get out of here, my name is literally on your resume and people are going to be like, whoa, this can't be Sarah's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have an expectation of, they know my expectations for myself.
Right.
As an actress, you know? Especially now, like there's no excuse. I have multiple sclerosis and I'm like still acting and directing. Like,
sweet.
And
how is that? I wanted to talk to you about that because
sure.
you know we're chronically ill girlies. Like
we are chronically ill girlies. Yeah.
So how is that like journey ongoing like been like, especially as a teacher, as a performer, how things like changed?
I sleep a lot more now. I have a bigger couch in my office now that I can take naps on in between classes.
Does that office have enough space for a bigger couch?
It does. I got rid of one of my file cabinets and like moved some stuff around because sometimes my days are long, you know what I mean? And I need to grab an hour nap here and there. So that's one thing that has sort of changed a little bit is my schedule. Like I can't pack at 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I've also changed the times I rehearse because my brain literally shuts off at 9 o'clock. I feel like someone has unplugged me. So we rehearse from 5:30 to 8:30 now. You know,
and
we only rehearse 4 days a week. We don't rehearse Wednesdays.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And that has been because I needed to take care of myself, but also like y'all needed to take care of yourselves. You know what I mean? Like I kept thinking to myself, like, when do these people do homework? When do they sleep? When do they just like Netflix and chill? When do they, you know what I mean? Like, because I want to always be promoting work-life balance. Now, that's like not something I was doing, Kat, when you guys, I was like, work, 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 work. You can live when you die. Yeah.
But I remember the shift with you. I remember the shift because you know, you were always talking about the difference between like soreness and injury. And I remember when the shift happened for you, when you realized like this, I just thought I was tired. This is like something more.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I mean, the big thing that happened, I had a lot of stresses in those first 3 years. And, you know, when I was in grad school, I could kind of feel my body slowing down and things being harder. And what Michael probably doesn't know is before I came to UWF, I'd been in the business like 16 years and I'd done 150 shows in those 16 years.
Wow.
Yeah. The averages.
You're running all over the place.
She's a fucking boss.
And like part of that, I was on the cruise ship for part of that time.
Oh my God.
What I mean? And like I worked at a bunch of rep companies, so that's how like all that builds up and
but still
shit like that.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Well, yeah, and I had this one kid once. I was working at a summer stock up in New Hampshire, a different one, not the barn, a different one. And he was like, I was making a video for another. I was self-taping before most people were self-taping. Let me tell you that. I was self-taping almost 15 years ago, I'll be honest. But I was making a self-tape and he was like, "You're a machine." And I was like, "Yeah." Because it's like when you have one job, you're not trying to get the next job, you're trying to get the job after that. You know what I mean? It's just like gotta keep going and keep going. So, but I had been doing 2 shows a summer at the New London Barn Playhouse, and the summer before my diagnosis, I said to the artistic director, like, I can't do 2 shows a summer anymore. Like, I think I could direct one and perform in one, but I don't think that I physically can do it. Like, and I thought it was like just teaching all year and directing 2 shows a year and like never really taking care of myself because that's something that actors do. And I just thought it was just like all just never resting. And like my feet, like I could barely walk because like my feet in heels, like the bunions, like they don't tell you about that. Laducas are not the most comfortable shoes, and I want everybody to stop saying it. Stop saying it. They hurt. There are other options, people. Yes, they're beautiful. But God, 10 years in Laducas and like your bunions are like, yeah, right, cartilage. That's cute.
We're not getting
So
sponsored by
cute.
LaDuca anytime soon, so it's
I
okay.
know. Sorry. I'm not shit talking. They're beautiful. The
Yeah.
boots are more comfortable, but
The boots are way more comfortable.
yeah. But yeah, I know they look beautiful, but I'm not a dancer, okay? So I'll just not buy them anymore. So,
Us
but anyway,
too.
but like it's just like that. It's just like that kind of thing. Like I just felt my body breaking down, and then about 6 months after that conversation, I had some real stress. Some things at the university, some things outside the university, and I basically lost the use of the left side of my body. Like I could still move everything, but it was very heavy. I could still walk. I really couldn't like lift my arm. It felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. In a lot of pain. I was having trouble speaking, things like that, all while going interviewing for my job because I went from a visiting line to a tenure track line and directing the Music Man. And it was just like and teaching, and I never took one day off. Never, not one day off. And once I got the diagnosis, like they look back and really think it started happening when I was about 23. And I have been living with this, like, 20, well, at that time, 15 years, and just never really knowing about it. So, but yeah, like when you're a young actor, and even when you're an actor in your early 30s, like, you don't think about that kind of stuff. A lot of times you don't have insurance, and you just hope that everything is gonna be okay. And I am part of that weird generation of like Gen X's and millennials that didn't make it to the parents on their, staying on your parents' insurance till you're 26. So like basically I graduated and didn't have any insurance until I got my equity card when I was 30 years old.
Wow.
That's no.
I never realized the importance of, of course, take care of your body, but
Sure.
during like shows and how draining that is, not only mentally but physically.
Oh my God.
Because I double dipped a lot last year, and I'm gonna double dip a little bit this year, but you're
double dipping a lot this year. Let's be very frank.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know what double dipping is, that means rehearsing one show while you're performing it. Don't get weird.
There we go. Yes, no weirdness. It shows. I swear.
We'll
save the weirdness for later. Don't worry about it.
I'll make it weird for you.
No chips and sauces. We're talking about shows. So I went from Spelling Bee to a show called Two Life, and it was just like a bunch of songs that are written by Jewish composers.
Yeah.
And then I double dipped in 42nd Street, and then the day after, we had one day off, and then I hopped into Mary Poppins. And then I had like 2 weeks off in between that and Newsies. And then I double dipped Newsies and Danny Zuko in Grease. And midway through Grease, and it was a longer process, that one. It was a community production. So it was, 7 to 10, 5 days a week. But I'd go in and I
for
wouldn't.
like 7 weeks.
Yes, it was from May, and then we closed September 3rd. That's how long that process was.
That hurts so bad.
Yes. And me not thinking, I was like, oh my God, I'm Danny Zuko. This is so cool. I'm never going to play him again because I have thin hair. I got through halfway through the process, and we got into tech week, and my voice disappeared. It was gone. And I was like, oh, wow. Like I could speak normally, but singing, it's not there. Yeah. And, I went to the doctor and I got myself checked out. And he's like, you have tonsillitis. And I was like, from what? And he's like, do you use your voice a lot and like talk and sing? And I was like, well, yeah, I teach. And then on my days off. And then
I'm a fucking actor.
I'm an actor. Right. So, I go and they give me steroids. And this is my first time taking steroids. And I was like,
did they give you the shot? Did they give you the shot?
No, I got the pills.
I love the shot. I love the shot in the ass.
The shot's where it is.
Shot in the ass.
Shot is from where the shot is like from when you're in real trouble, and you got to have like an OG doctor that'll give you the shot. Like you got to be like, look, I'm a professional singer and I'm in trouble and I need the meds.
So
anyway, sorry, you got the Z-Pack.
Yeah, I got the pills. They gave me the pills.
So they gave him the pills.
So I take them, and it was like 7 the first day, 6, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, whatever. And the next day, I wake up and my voice is back. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I was like, yay, whoop-de-doo. I was belting Sandy in the car like nobody's business, right? And the next day, I take my brother to the airport and I drop him off early in the morning, and I just feel like groggy and a little weird. And I was like, whatever. So I go back to bed. Yep. And I wake up and my right arm is numb and my BPM is through the roof. So I was like, oh, wow. What's this? And no one was home. So I called my director, and my director was like, go to the hospital immediately. And I was like, okay. Like, I don't know what's going on. I play pretend for a living. I don't know.
Yeah, really. I know. I play a doctor on TV.
Yes. So I show up and the lady's like, stop taking these immediately. And I was like, okay. So I stopped taking them. It gets a lot better. And we get to the closing of that weekend. We had 2 more weeks. So it was like that Sunday. And after the show, I'm sitting in the dressing room and I'm like, what? It's happening again, but it's not bad. And I was like, what is going on? So I'm sitting there, and then it hits me full blown. So my left arm goes numb. My jaw goes numb. I can't breathe. Like this whole thing happens. And I'm like, oh no, I'm going to die doing a non-act production of Grease.
Today's the day.
I'm like, this is it. I'm like,
this is it.
No one's gonna.
This is exactly how they said it would be.
Exactly. I was like, damn
You're gonna die alone in a community theater, playing Danny Zuko as your hair is thinning.
So I go to the hospital and I get like an EKG and I get like everything taken care of, and they were like, it's just lingering from the steroids, like you'll be fine. But after that, I was like, thank God I have like 3 weeks off in between this and the next show, because I need to sleep and hibernate. Like, take care of yourself now.
It is so true. You got to take care of yourself. And especially like, I love that you're doing like this non-ec thing, because and talking about this non-ec, what do you think? Because this is a really hard part of it. You know what I mean? Like, we don't talk about the injury part of it. I worked at a theater, and they'll totally know who they are. I've told the story so many times. If nobody knows it by now, I can't.
Yay.
There's nothing I can do. But I was doing a production of Beauty and the Beast, and I was a silly girl. And, most of the time, the silly girls also play the napkins in Be Our Guest. and we had these awesome costumes that were made like out of this like these vinyl tablecloths, but they were like kind of lacy. Oh, they were so cute. We just looked like little rolled up napkins, and we had red belts like napkin rings. And so, you know, the scene before that, the rose petal falls, and I'm in this teeny tiny gym cafetorium. Okay. And that's like the, you know what I mean? You guys know what that is. Gym cafetorium.
Yep.
And so the stage is very, very small, even with a big build out that they did. So our choreography was to like spin on to the stage. Well, right before this scene, a petal falls, right? Well, our petal thing was on this bridge thing, and the petal fell, and it had like a fishing weight, and it had fishing line. And I was the middle silly girl. Yeah, middle silly girl. And I got wrapped up in the fishing line.
Oh.
From like my waist all the way up around my neck.
Oh my God.
And like it was like twirl, 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 5, 6, 7, 8. Can down the line. Can down the line. Well, twirl, 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 Sarah's freezing in the thing. The girls go forward. I stayed still and had to like get myself together and be like, oh shit, okay, Schoch. Okay, just go the other way. Just unravel yourself. So I just went and roll, like unwound myself from the fishing wire. But it was like I had like all these cuts around my neck because from the fishing wire.
Oh my
In this
God.
same production, we had this like roll up drop that was like on one of these giant PVC pipes. And my friend was LeFou, and he had this huge jacket. And we had a crossover that was like 6 inches wide. 6 inches wide. So he's going behind the crossover. They're pulling up the rolled drop. His jacket gets caught in the rolled drop. He is like hanging, and he's short. And he is like hanging, and his feet are like, you know, his tippy toes are like barely touching. This is all in the same show of this production, like in the same night. And he's like, I'm stuck in the drop. I'm stuck. You guys, and it's like you just think to yourself, like, how many times that did I almost die? In that same place, I slipped on like somebody's black transformation robe in the like prop step down thing. And in the company photo, this is the same company, you can see a bruise this big on my leg from where I slipped on somebody's damn transformation robe because it was black in a black room, black stairs. Help.
I had this one guy in Greece, and with the 6-inch crossover, totally get it, because I finished Sandy, and the way that they did it was the scrim came down, and then the curtain came down, and then it was gonna black out, and I was gonna like slide my fat ass through like this little pass through. And the way it worked was there was a guy, and during tech, I will always remember this, you know, he was like, give me a thumbs up when I can pull the scrim, because he was a volunteer, and God bless him, you know? So he was like, I'll wait for your thumbs up. And I was like, I will give you that thumbs up.
Dude. Yeah, right? I'm there for you.
So I hit it, and I'm like, oh, Sandy. And then it blacks out, and I'm like, this is in tech. And I'm like scooting through. And the way that the scrim works is there was the scrim, and then there was this metal bar that was protruding out of it. So it had like enough space in case it slipped or whatever.
Sure.
And I had to step over it in order to get through, to give him a thumbs up.
Oh no.
So I scoot through, and I'm like, you know, shimmying, and he takes me shimmying with my hands as the thumbs up. So I pick my leg over, and I put it on top, and he raises this scrim like fucking the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like ringing the bell. Right?
Oh my God.
And it came up right in between my legs, and I've never called hold so high pitched in my life. I was like, please hold. And Suzanne was like, are you good? And I was like, no, I'm not okay. I was like, I'm a soprano. It was awful.
Like Sandy just got a lot easier to sing.
Yes. And that guy came up and God bless him, but he goes, "Did I clip you there?" And I was like, "Yes."
Clip me. You hit me like a Mack truck. You came in like a wrecking ball.
That man almost made me pass away. And that was the second time in that show where I almost died. So
He was like, "Hope I didn't take out your plans to procreate."
yeah, no thanks. I didn't want kids anyway, but like,
I love how every episode we get on the topic of injuries because Jesus Christ, there's just a plethora of them.
I mean, there is, like, honestly, and you know what? Here's what I want to say. This is gonna sound so bad. It never gets better. It doesn't matter what level you are at, whether you are doing like elementary school stuff or like fucking Las Vegas with style Cirque du Soleil. Some basic shit is just gonna go wrong. Like it's just going. You can be working in the fanciest house in the world and still have to get a trash can on stage because there's a leak in the roof. Like, come on. That's like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, it just doesn't get any better. Like, I got my equity card and I thought I was such hot shit. And I was like playing Mary and the Librarian. And I was like, God, this is it. I made it. I'm like playing a leading role. This is my equity show. And all of a sudden somebody comes up to me and says, "Sarah, the storm is really bad. The roof is leaking. Can you get a trash can on stage?" Yes.
I can.
And then I'm like immediately humbled. Yep, bitch. You're still working in a barn.
Literally.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't get better.
That was me at Theater by the Sea.
I loved it. I love them. Yeah.
They're so amazing people to work with, but literally I was like, I'm here for 2 back-to-back shows. I'm the stepsister in Cinderella. I'm living my fantasy. I leave my dressing room, my own dressing room in my ball gown, and I just eat it on the stairs and slide straight down. And one of the ensemble girls, Emma, she sees me and she just shoves her arms out to try to catch all 300 pounds of me. Like,
don't help.
She was like, I just really need to protect your head. And then I get to stand up. I had broken my toe during that. And immediately, this was right before we opened. I think we were in previews at this point. Just fucking eat it, break my toe.
Broke your toe.
I have an 8-show week, and then I start rehearsals for Kinky Boots while I'm doing an 8-show week the next week.
Michael, I need you to know, I train this bitch. That's right. That's exactly what you do. You break yourself, and then you fucking go back to work.
Oh, it's true, girl. Listen, I gotta
multiple sclerosis. You suck it. I gotta work.
I concussed myself in a production of Guys and Dolls at the matinee, and then
that's always a good one.
Yeah, I did that, and then I came back for the evening show. I was like, "What's up, guys?"
They said you got to stay awake anyway. What are you supposed to do?
It's just like dancing in Havana, like the light is draining from your eyes.
You might as well get paid, honey. You gotta stay awake anyway.
My poor understudy was like this. "Are you coming back?" I was like, "Yes." Like, don't worry.
Bitch. Because you know what? I gotta be in a full body cast croaking before an understudy's going on for me, and that is that.
That's how I live. That is how I live. I literally did a show without knowing that I had COVID, with COVID, and powered through it. And I was like, oh, I'm sick. Don't go back in. But like that
Michael,
show.
I'll beat you one.
Do it.
One of the times I got the shot in the ass.
Hmm.
I was double dipping. I was
Hmm.
doing a reading of a new musical in Nashville, and I was doing a production of Assassins. The night the the night before the opening, 2 nights before the opening of the reading, I had a production of Assassins, and I had no voice. I went out there and sang with no voice. Every time I opened my mouth, I was like, "President."
I wish we did video podcasts just so we could
Yes,
have seen that
yes,
impression right there. That was
yes. It was like,
priceless.
yeah, we could kill the president. It was just like, oh my god. And I, of course, saying like the high thing. Oh my god. It was like by the end, we were all laughing. It was just so ridiculous because I was like, there was no one to go on, so it didn't matter. So the next morning, I went and got shot in the ass. Could go to rehearsal and like listen to the new musical stuff. I was able to sing the show of
Mm.
Assassins on Saturday night. And then on Sunday morning, my voice was back enough. I sight read a number.
Oh my God. God
The
bless you.
last number of the show. I just sight read it. I just sight read the whole thing. And it was just like the wildest experience. And that's how I booked the cruise ship. Ha! That's the punchline of that story.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I told you, man. I told you, man, it was gonna be wild. I told you. I
This
told you it was gonna be wild.
I have never laughed so much in one of these podcasts. So thank you for this.
This is like Kat and I have kept each other so long because like truthfully, like the bond that we have like goes so far beyond teacher and student. Like
Yeah.
we just became family after that, and I have a few students that are like that. And if you are open like to that, like you can have that kind of relationship with your mentors for the rest of your life. I talk
Yeah.
to my voice teacher every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes more than that for 20 years. She's like a second mom to me. And I have babies like my cat,
Hmm.
that I still teach. It was really funny. Did you tell Michael about when you zoomed in to our theater production class, Kat?
No, I didn't. You want to talk about
Oh my God.
it?
I need to hear this.
She zoomed in.
This was during Guys and Dolls. I literally we I forgot. I think it was week 2.
Yeah.
I did this over my lunch break, and I
Yeah,
was
she
like
did.
late for like a music rehearsal by like
Yeah.
15 minutes or something like that. Whatever, they can deal. I was Agatha. They weren't missing me.
Yeah, really. The more I cannot give you, to give you all my love, my own true love mistake. I love that song, but like I just feel like it's so sad that they couldn't have just made it a woman in the first place. I just don't get it.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's so oddly placed. They're like, we're gonna sing this, and then we're gonna do triple pirouettes with the crap shooters. So like yeah, okay, Guys and Dolls.
Damian Runyon. When you have a name like that, you can write whatever you want.
Amen.
Yeah.
But what was I saying before that?
The
About
presentation.
me zooming in. Me and Tammy. We
Oh,
did the.
okay. So another one of our former alumni, Tammy Babbitt, she actually used to work for Family Guy. And
Oh
that's
wow.
we brought she was gosh, she started as a PA and then like ended up like doing like the background
She's in an
helping.
episode. She's in
Yeah,
an
she's
episode.
in.
They did a cartoon of her. Like they I forgot what before she left. Like she was like a little
It won't
character.
air to it won't air until 2024.
Oh,
Her
okay.
one with that character. They're that far ahead.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
don't know.
But yeah, she worked there for so anyway, they did a split screen zoom in and the students asked Kat who like how she continues to practice and who she studies with now.
Auntie Sarah.
She still takes points from me.
The woman
And
in
they
the
can't
room.
wait to get out of there.
I was literally like, I can't find a better one. Like, we're not leaving Sarah. I found Sarah. I'm not leaving.
10-minute voice teacher. That's why.
There you go.
I just love it.
So,
I love it when I call you, and because I don't do it as regularly as I used to, but I call maybe like a couple. I call a couple times a year. To and you're always. I always tell you what I'm working on, and after about 5 minutes, you're like, "Are you just here for an emotional tune-up?"
well, sometimes she'll call me and be like, I don't know about this contract, and I don't know about this, and I don't know about this. And I'll be like, what do you want me to say? Do you want to eat or not?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, what is this? Like, and with Kat, it's always a goddamn embarrassment of riches. You know what I mean? She's like, I don't know if I should do this show, this show, this show, or this show. And I'm telling you, this bitch is trying to race me and beat me for how many shows to do in a year. She's trying to beat my 150 at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm at 165 at 24 right now. So keep going, honey. Remember, I got to keep running, and so do you. But that's usually what it's about, and I just have to remind her, like you're in a place now in your career where you're getting to choose a little bit more, and that is the fun stuff. I always wanted two things. I wanted a longevity in this business, whatever that meant, and Kat knows this, she's heard it a million times, and I knew that would involve teaching, and I also knew that I was going to be good at it too, because I had that experience before I even went to grad school. And the second thing is I wanted to get to a place where I could do shows because I wanted to, not because I had to. I was actually working at I was doing a production in which I was promised one of the three major lead roles, and like it was verbally agreed upon that I would play one of these three roles. And then I was offered a minor character.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 2 weeks away from my health insurance. So I had to take the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was 2 weeks away from getting my health insurance for the whole year, as an equity member. And just knowing I had to be there, like it ended up being a weird and fine experience, but knowing I had to be there was just so, and knowing I'd kind of been shit on at the same time, like it was really a hard pill to swallow. And so like, that's when I started to change my mindset of like, okay, I need to start rethinking my life and putting some other things out there so I don't have to do shows I'm not passionate about, or that I just have to do for points or weeks, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
For insurance, And those are really the only two things I wanted, and I think I'm definitely getting that now. Being a professor gives me a lot of that freedom. It's a huge hassle at the same time, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've directed over 29 things since I've been here, between productions and self like created workshops and what do you call them, showcases.
Did you direct
all of those.
Evita?
Yes.
I listen, I saw that production and
You did?
I'm not the biggest fan of Evita, but I told Kat, I walked out of there and I was like, damn, I might like Evita. Like I was like, that was good. So
Dude,
props.
Evita was so fucking good.
It really was.
Oklahoma was amazing. Kat and I did Oklahoma together, and it
Mhm.
Yeah.
was like it was a really special production. I don't think I'll ever feel that way ever again about a production. Like it was just there was so much joy. It was like nothing but joy.
We after the year that we had gone through,
Mm-hmm.
we needed that show. I
Mm-hmm.
think that show healed all of us.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of
Yeah.
put the pieces back together.
I mean, I'll never forget when you guys finished closing night or opening night, and I ran out into the stairwell where you guys came out, and this has never happened again. They all came off stage and they rushed up the stairwell to me because we were all so, it was just so joyful.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was just such a joyful thing. And I don't think I'll ever have that. But Evita was, as an artist, Evita was like, I was like, oh, you're a director. You can do this. You know what I mean? Like that was only maybe like the third or fourth thing that I had ever directed was
Oh wow.
Evita. I just knew in my mind, in my heart, what I wanted to do,
Mhm.
and I was given an open stage and the very simple things I needed to do that. And I just recently did a production of Nine that had sort of the same feel. Not
I
the
wish
same.
I wish I could have seen that production. It broke my heart that I couldn't see it.
It wasn't as it had a similar industrial feel, but it was like a little bit more romantic. You know what I mean? It was like movie set on like with the back side of the stage, but then like we were in the crew basically. So like the
Mm.
sides were very just like black and pipe and you know um and it was a very similar experience to Evita. I like the fun stuff. I like making the fun stuff. That's all well and good. I'm doing Drowsy Chaperone next,
Oh.
and yeah, we just cast it, and I'm really very excited about it now because of how we're not going to do it the conventional way.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, um, let's just say instead of them being in the man's world, the man is going to be in their world. And so that
Mm.
is going to be, we're going to flip the script a little bit.
Already
You
booking my
know,
flight up there.
thank you. Yes, yes. I hope you do. It's going to be so good. We're going to have a plane and it's going to fly and it's going to be great. So,
Oh my God.
and we're going to have a fountain too in Mrs. Tannendale's. So we're really excited about that. But I'm just yeah, we have a new scenic and lighting professor and she is boss. Like there's not we went to a Mexican restaurant the other day and that's where the fountain idea came up
Mhm.
because they had a fountain in the middle. She's like, I can build that. And I was like, I'm so glad we came to Hacienda.
Hacienda.
Hacienda, baby. That's where we went.
You gotta put them in the playbill.
Just kind of like trying
I know.
to as we wrap it up. No, so I want to
Is it
ask.
ever going to be wrapped up?
Unless they
We'll
want a live
see.
stream podcast. I mean,
Seriously.
No,
Seriously.
but
Ask questions. Amy AMA.
so what and now this could be for you as a performer or if something that you would want to direct or whatever. What is your like dream show to like put up? Like what is that? Have you done it yet?
I think I've done it. Yeah. I really Well, I think Evita was between Evita and Nine, like those were always big dreams of mine. I really want to do Beauty and the Beast.
Mm.
I really do.
You got to
I
right the wrong for
really
the fishing
do.
line. You got to
Oh,
bring it
yeah,
back.
yeah, I really, yeah. I just think we could do it really well
Yeah.
here. So that's definitely on my list. And I think I can spoil because we've already got the rights that we're going to do Fiddler next year.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
And that one has been on my list for a really long time.
yeah.
I wanted to do it first when the Syrian conflict was happening and people were being first run out of Syria, you know what I mean? But then the rights actually, we had them and they got pulled from us because the Yiddish tour was going out. So this is the first time we've been able to access them. And so um, I went to Brandeis University, which is in Boston, for my master's. And not a lot of people know this, but it was founded by very famous Jewish Americans, Leonard Bernstein, Einstein, Joan Crawford, one of the Justice Brandeis himself, who was a Supreme Court justice, all based on the idea that anybody of any race, creed, color, religion, whatever, could go to school there. You know what I mean? And I was lucky enough, even being Catholic, to go there, and I really feel a deep connection with the Jewish faith and the way that they accept humans for who they are. There is so much light in the Jewish faith, and I want to give back to what the Jewish community has given to me just as a person, how to be a person, how to treat other people, how to believe in something when it feels like all hope is lost. So I really just want to give that back to a community that gave very much to me. We are going to have a rabbi play the rabbi, hopefully.
Ooh.
That's so cool.
And
Oh my God. Wait,
so
when is this happening? I have to come up for
it's
this.
it's next February, not this coming, but the February after.
I have to come up for that. Oh
Yeah,
my
Michael, you'll have to
God.
come too.
I will absolutely make it up to the
Road
college
trip.
that I should have gone to.
No, oh,
Road
honey, we
trip.
would have loved to have you. You know what I
Thank you.
mean? Definitely, you were one that got away. Trust me. I'm surprised I don't remember. Like I remember the story that you're telling me now.
Mhm.
But I don't always remember faces because I meet so many
I don't
people,
blame
you
you.
know.
You were like, oh, the kid with the big eyebrows and the long last name? Yeah, him? No. Like, he's gonna play it.
Listen,
He's gonna play Danny Zuko with thin hair
please,
soon. I can feel it.
I'm from Cleveland. Your name is not that long.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
There's
Gorgeous
like
then.
Italians, Polish people, Germans, like your name is nothing compared to
Perfect, because I
what
just
we've
started
got
feeling
in
bad.
Cleveland.
I get carpal tunnel every time I write
Yeah,
it out.
every time you read it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you
Mhm.
just gotta like, your signature for when you're on the B way.
On the
It's
B
like
word.
you just like it's just like some kind of like
Just squiggle.
scribble. That's right.
I had this little one come up to me after Greece, and she was like, "Can you sign my playbill?" And I was like, "I haven't
I
signed
always
anything
love that.
ever." So I was like,
I,
"What do I write?" I was like standing there with the Sharpie, and I was like, "I'm just gonna do an
reach
M."
for You know what? Here's a good one for little girls. Reach for the stars is always a great one. That's what
Ah,
I always
good.
put. Yeah, yeah, and things like that. I really think it's good you guys are doing this. Do you know
Aw.
what I mean? I think it's a really good thing. I think it's good to laugh about um the scary things about being non-equity, but as a person who has given up their equity card in the past few years, like don't be scared. If you don't have one, awesome. If you do have one, awesome. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Theater can be done anywhere, you know what I mean? And for me, I'm at the age, I'm 41 now. I have a job. I don't need the insurance because I have this job, and no one's gonna fuck around with me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't need equity to protect me anymore. You know what I mean? Now I'm just cheap and good.
Amen.
Like, imagine, like, you don't have to pay me that much and I'm equity good. Whoa.
There are so many titles for this podcast getting thrown out. Kat, we have so many things to go through. Cheap and good is a solid
I'm cheap
one.
and good.
Cheap and
That's
good.
a good one. That's a good one. You just call it too many one-liners to handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys. I just appreciated being able to talk about theater and like how hilariously messed up and wonderful it is.
Amen.
I mean, that's the basis of this whole thing.
Yeah, like, honestly, it doesn't get better. That's actually what you should rename. If you ever have to, it doesn't
get better with Sara Schoch.
There it is.
The eternal pessimist. You know why? Let me tell you something. I am an eternal pessimist. You know why? Because then I'm never fucking disappointed. Ever. I'm never disappointed. I'm just like, yeah, I'm never gonna get that. And when they call, I'm like, holy shit.
I'm not depressed. I'm just waiting.
That's great. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my ass. Yeah. I'm not depressed. I'm just waiting. Oh, Michael, we're gonna be best friends.
This is phenomenal.
Okay, so for the people who are clearly going to become huge Auntie Sara fans, what socials would you like people to have so they can follow you?
They can follow me at Shock Value, which is SCHOCHVALUE. That's
I'm typing
Michael's literally looking at it right now.
Yeah, he's looking me up right now. Shock Value. That's my Instagram handle. You can also find me through the hashtag Profess with MS.
There we go.
We are
which is like a double. I love that because it's like a double meaning, you know, like profess with thy mouth, you know what I mean? Shakespeare and
then professor,
professor too. So, and I'm working on directress with MS too. I'm working on that one too.
Every abbreviation. You
hey,
get all
I'm taking up all the hashtags.
Damn straight.
Perfect.
I'm taking them all up. So yeah, that's how people can find me. And I always have hilarious stories. Look for the one where I flick off Rush Limbaugh as he's getting into his limo.
I think we're going to have to cement a part 2 to this podcast sometime.
We have to bring you on again because this is just too fucking golden. It's too.
Yeah, we'll just have to do like a regular once a month check-in.
Nice little
done and done.
Because we didn't even get to talk about like unifieds and crazy auditions and things. Like we didn't even like get the tip of the iceberg here, people.
Part two coming.
Hello, how to survive the career. Like we just like talked about actually how to physically survive it. We didn't even talk about how to like actually thrive. We only talked about surviving the accidents.
Yep.
So we should do one where we talk about thriving.
Done and done.
We have to give her some sort of equity in nonsense now.
Yeah. Every 3 pennies we make, you get one of the pennies.
Thank you. And I would just like everybody to know that I dropped my equity card before Patti LuPone, but now we're both going to be showing up at your non-equity auditions. me and Patti LuPone are going to be showing up at your non-equity auditions.
You guys will be at the top of the unofficial list. Done and done.
Hell no, we're not going to get there early enough. We're going to send our assistants.
I'll show up for her. I'll show up. It'll be okay.
Patty. Patty. Oh my God.
Well,
Me and Patty.
It has been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you.
Michael, you too. And it was nice to meet you. And my cat
Yes.
girl, I love you, Cat. I love you
I
so
love
much.
you, Auntie.
You bring me so much joy. And Michael, thank you. You are now a nephew. I love you very much.
Welcome to the family.
I'm
Mazel.
gonna cry.
Mazel from the Catholic girl.
Yes, and the Catholic boy.
Yes, excellent.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
Yes.
Thank you. Kitty cat,
Love
call me
you.
later.
I will.
Love you.
Oh, I will.
Bye.
Love you.
Do the thing. Do the thing.
Respect.
Bye.
Yes.
Respect.
All right. So this has been the Non-Egg Nonsense podcast. Thank you for joining us for the absolute nonsense that occurred tonight. We appreciate you. We'll be here on Mondays all the time. You know where to find us: Spotify, YouTube. Look us up on Instagram, Non-Egg Nonsense Podcast. And we hope you enjoy your day. So this is Michael Matterdomini signing off.
And this is Cat Gold. Sign off. See you next time.
Hallelujah.
Forward.